Really depends on, again, the type of assistant that you need. So with this, you're able to filter out for their written English. You're able to give them a grammar test. Hey there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is at this video is to hopefully give you more clarity on what kind of virtual assistant you need for your business as you create your virtual assistant profile. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own outsourcing company here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, as you start hiring a virtual assistant for your business, you will need a lot of clarity on who it is that you need. As an employer, it is your responsibility to be as clear as you can on who it is that you need in your business and what it is that they're going to be doing. Now, in this video, I'm really going to focus on who it is that you need. Now, if you need clarity on what kind of virtual assistant that you need, I have a ton of videos on that, and you can also check out my video on what to delegate to a virtual assistant. Again, gain more clarity of what type of virtual assistant you need in your business as you start hiring. Now, make sure to watch until the end of this video so you can have a clear profile on who it is that you need in your business, so then as you start hiring, you know what to look out for. Now, one of the first things that you need to be clear about when it comes to hiring your virtual assistant is something as simple as, do you need your virtual assistant to be online when you are? This is such a small detail, but actually really helps you be clear about what are the hours that your assistant are going to be fulfilling. Like, do they need to be on the same time zone as you or awake in your time zone? So for example, let's say you are in Eastern Standard Time Zone and you're hiring someone from the Philippines. That's a 12-hour difference. That means that there's only going to be a little bit of an overlap versus if you were in the Pacific Time Zone versus the Philippines, where there's only about 15-hour time difference. So there is going to be that overlap of 5 p.m. your time, usually about 8 a.m., 7 a.m. here. So you'll be able to meet with your assistant at that time if that is what you need. You need to have clarity for this, mainly because some people just can't handle it, not having their assistant there when they're giving tasks. And some people can. Inside of 2XU, my virtual assistant company, we always ask this question because most of the time, if we are hiring for someone who has to do a night shift, it doesn't really work out for us the way that our systems work. We can't fully support someone who's on the night shift. Versus if you were clear about that you needed someone who has to be up when you are able to filter out people who won't be able to do that, who won't be able to support themselves being up all night working with you. So again, there's not really a right or wrong answer to this. It really depends on what works best for you as you work with someone else overseas. Next thing that you need to keep in mind, or next thing you need to consider as you're hiring a virtual assistant, is will they be handling your communications? Will they be handling your email, your chats, your Facebook messages, your LinkedIn, your Instagram DMs? Will they be having to handle different parts of communicating with your clients, with your customers? And the reason why you need clarity on this, because you will need to keep in mind that you need someone who with really good spoken or written English. Really depends on, again, the type of assistant that you need. So with this, you're able to filter out for their written English. You're able to give them a grammar test. If you need someone with really good spoken English, then you can, when you're talking to them during an interview, you can get that snapshot of how good their English proficiency is, especially if you're hiring from outside of an English native country. Another important thing when it comes to communications is what communication style do you need from your virtual assistant? Do you need someone who's more straightforward, tells you straight to the point, or someone who adds more humor or warmth, someone that you can connect with when it comes to working with your virtual assistant? Again, no right or wrong answer here. It's now just gaining more clarity of who is it that actually will match your own working style, your own communication style as you're working with your virtual assistant. Next is, will your virtual assistant need access to your passwords? Now, there's two tools that I usually recommend. One is LastPass, the other one is Bitwarden. LastPass gives you the opportunity to be able to share your passwords with your virtual assistant securely, while Bitwarden, you have to pay for that. It also is just another tool that you can use. There's also one that's called OnePass. So there's different tools that you can look at for this. But the reason why you need clarity on this before you start hiring is, would you be okay with your virtual assistant's laptop being used as a family laptop, or do you really need it to just be them using one laptop for themselves for this work? It's really all about security of what your virtual assistant's working environment would be. If it could be secure enough for different passwords that you will give them, or is there a chance that it will be compromised for any reason at all just because they're not using a more secure computer? Next is, will your virtual assistant need to manage people? Will they need to have leadership skills and better communication skills to handle different people on your team? That is a big thing that you really need to consider, because some people are really great managers. They're really natural at it. And some people you really have to train to become this manager. So this is something that you really need to keep in mind as you are hiring for your virtual assistant. Next is, do you need someone who takes action or waits for permission? Again, no right or wrong answer. It really is just a range of who it is that you need in your business. Of, do you need someone who takes initiative and gets things done right away, or someone who kind of waits until they can get your approval? And again, it depends. It could depend on a project, it could depend on a task, but generally, what kind of person do you need in your business? Next is, do you need someone who's organized because they have a really good memory, which means that they remember everything. If you ask them, they know how to respond, or someone who has everything written down. They might not have a photographic memory, for example, but they can bring things up as needed. Again, depends on your business, what kind of business that you have. More generally, people do choose, someone with a really good documentation system or note-taking system, but having someone who does remember where everything is at is going to be so helpful for you, again, depending on the stage of your business. Next is, do you want someone who's more creative or logical? You need someone who can think of different creative ideas on the spot, or someone who could follow a series of processes, or maybe someone who can be both. Again, this is a range. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be a good mix of both, although sometimes a little bit harder to find. That's why you want to set what preference you would want for your position. Next is, do you need someone who's curious or someone who stays in their lane? These are two different things, of someone who will go ahead and explore and dig things through as they're trying to figure out a solution, or someone who just follows the path, follows what was given to them, the instructions, the project, whatever it is. And again, these are not just like extremes that you choose one or the other. These can be a range. It can be someone who is just a two. There's someone who is a little bit more curious, but also knows how to stay in their lane. Could be 3, could be 4. It doesn't have to be one or the other kind of thing. It can be a range of 1 to 5 of where they're at on that scale. And finally, a really big distinction that you need to keep in mind is, do you need a virtual assistant or a remote executive assistant? So these are two different things. A virtual assistant is more into the general tasks, is more into a task-based. They're really focused on one thing, and they're mostly, again, task-based. A remote executive assistant is more outcome-based. You don't give them specific tasks to do. You give them an outcome that you're hoping that they would be able to figure out, and then they work towards that. I have a whole video on what are the differences on virtual assistant versus an executive assistant that you guys can check out right here. But basically, you need to have that clarity of, is this person just going to be someone who's going to do different tasks in my business, or do I need this person to become my second brain? Instead of 2XU, we really specialize in executive assistants. That's literally our whole service, because we train people essentially on how to become the second brain of the founder. However, there are going to be people who just need a virtual assistant to get a few tasks done inside of their business, and that's okay as well. Now, if you guys like this video and hopefully has helped you gain clarity on what kind of assistant you need, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below, what other distinctions are you keeping in mind as you're hiring a virtual assistant? And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit subscribe button right there so you don't miss any videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those 2 videos right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.